I think that examples like Star Wars are really useful because not only do a lot of people know them, but because it's a genre movie, and so there are tropes that people are going to want to make sure that they bake into their story. So if you know you're writing in vampire romance, then you know there's certain tropes that the reader is going to expect, and you either have to bake
Right.
them in and accommodate them in your premise, or you have to know that you're veering from the tropes, and you either have to have a good reason for doing that, or you're acknowledging that you're going to bait the readers or whatever. So can you talk a little bit about whether there's a connection between the premise and a reflection of the tropes that are expected in the book, kind of book you're writing?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And honestly, for the premise, I think it could go either way. The premise is so general that you could almost use a storyline like that for multiple different genres. Really, you're just trying to get down the very broad events that happen. So if you told it that way without the detail of it being in space and the Imperial Empire and everything, then technically you could probably pick that up and place it into another genre and it wouldn't be terribly different. But of course, because we all tell stories in our own genres, the tropes, when you're writing out what the premise is, they tend to leak in because we're probably not going to say, there's a big battle at the end and there's sword fighting if we don't know already that swords are a part of our world. And the second we say he's in a spaceship fighting in space, then we know exactly what kind of genre it is. So you could almost say that the tropes aren't absolutely necessary for the premise because you're really just getting down the major events of the story. But I also think you should put in as much detail as you have and as much detail as you can. So naturally, the tropes are probably going to make it in various ways. And I think that's a good thing because whatever detail you already have, you should always keep that top of mind because it will make your story richer and will actually help you fill in a lot of the details once you get down more to the nitty gritty bits.